Hey guys, welcome back to Daisy Crochet, or welcome if you're new. Today I'm so excited because I'm going to be taking you guys to my market. I've been doing this market for 3 years now and it's always a really amazing day. It's in my hometown, my small town, and it is just so much fun. The market runs from 9 to 5, but we got there at 8, so a very long day, but hopefully totally worth it. So I am going to take you guys along with me on our day at the market, and then I'll also be giving you a full breakdown of everything that we sold and how much money we made at the end. So I'm not gonna ramble too much in this, but I did just want to tell you guys how much inventory we have going into this market, just because I don't think I mentioned that yet and I really wanted to let you guys know. So we had $2,079 worth of inventory going into this market and 234 items. So a lot more stuff than I've ever had before. And then Fiona also had an additional almost $1,000 worth of inventory. So we went into it with almost $3,000 worth of inventory, which is not normal for us. So it was a little bit different than it has been in the past, but it was really great overall. So I can't wait for you guys to see it. And don't forget to watch Fiona's Market Day vlog if you haven't already, because I'm pretty sure she's posting it before mine. And I would love for you guys to see her version of the day as well. So without any more yapping, let's get right into the market. Hey guys, I actually forgot to film this morning while I was getting ready, but we're at the market now. I don't think it started yet, or it just started, but we just got set up. It's really hot and I'm not dressed for that, of course, but that's fine. It's gonna be a good day, so everybody get excited, and I'm gonna try and film a lot, but you guys know how it is, so we'll see. I will let you guys know how it goes. So far we have made a few sales, 3 sales, but it was to my grandma and grandpa, so that was nice. But surprises. Oops. Hey guys, it's almost 10, so things are going pretty well so far. It's not too busy, but it will probably get more busy later. 1 hour / 2 hours down, a million more to go. And there is also a food vendor with like some sort of barbecue, and it's just blowing smoke right at us. Just smoke directly at us. And we're worried because we're here all day and we're gonna smell. We do not do well with this kind of thing, guys. And it like burns my eyes. So wish us luck. Hopefully it isn't so smoky all day, but we're a little worried about that because it's not great. So far I sold a few keychains, a panda, a stress ball, and a flower bouquet. So it's going pretty well, I guess. Hey guys, it's now 11. Yeah, 11. You can hear the clock dinging, but it's been pretty good still, pretty steady. A lot of people here, which is great, but this always has a good turnout, so that's amazing. Especially for our small town, there's a good turnout. So yeah, we're just keeping on going. It's going pretty quickly, but this is a very long market, so we still have several hours to go. That's okay. Hourly update. It's almost 12. That's crazy. This is going by so quickly. Fiona just said, you have to do another one of those updates again? Because I do them every hour. Yeah. The time is going very quick, which is great. I'm assuming it will slow down towards the end, but usually the first few hours go by pretty quick, so that's great. It's going good. I had to flip the page in my notebook already, so that's a good sign, I think. But it's quite busy. The sales have been good. I haven't sold anything in a minute, but sometimes it's like rushes and like everyone comes to the table at once. That's a little overwhelming, but I can't complain. And yeah, that's Fiona. Hey guys, so it is now almost 1 and it's going pretty good still. Still a lot of stuff, but like that's kind of to be expected, I guess. Fiona sold a lot of her higher price items. I have not. but it's still been good. There's not a lot of e-transferring. We don't have a square machine. Don't judge us. Yeah, we can't get them free where we live, so that excuse doesn't really work for us. So we don't want to buy one, and we won't buy one. So yeah, that's how it is. But it's been good. I can show you like the sales on the new page because I think I told you guys I turned the page. There's my sales on the new page. Still have a good 4 hours left though, so this will be good. Hey guys, so somebody was singing copyrighted music in this portion. It was super good singing, but I don't want to get a copyright strike or anything, so I just wanted to say I was explaining in this portion that it was about 3 o'clock and the table was looking a little more sparse, but it was still good. And I also told you guys that I had leftover pizza for lunch and it was really good, and we only had 2 hours left and I couldn't believe it. So that's all I was saying here. But yeah, sorry you guys couldn't hear this clip. Oops. Hey guys, it's almost 4 now. Hopefully these updates aren't boring. But it's going to be really quick. 1 hour left. It's insane. Also, I dyed my hair last night, guys. I don't know if you can tell, but I did. I also didn't show you my outfit. I'm wearing my crocheted sweater. It's really cute. People have been loving it, if I do say so myself. And anyways, we've been doing pretty good still. It's been pretty steady today. Yeah, like there's never been like a long time without a sale, but also it's not like crazy busy. I don't know. It's going pretty well though. Pretty happy with it, so that's good. It looks like we still have a lot of stuff left, but I think that's just because we literally had $3,000 worth of inventory, so that'll happen. It's been really fun, and this will probably be my last update because next time it'll probably be at home. So I'll give you guys a breakdown and let you guys know how everything went tomorrow, or knowing me, probably in a week. But it will happen in this video, so stay tuned for that. Hey guys, so it's now been over a week since the market. I told you guys I was gonna do it a week later. It's the following Sunday and it was on a Saturday, so it's been over a week. But I am really excited to sit down with you guys today and talk about how the market went, and we're gonna be going over all the sales, and I'll be breaking down like how much money I got in each different form of payment, and then the total, of course. So just before we get into it, I wanted to say this is only my sales. I'll probably be mentioning a few of Fiona's just because it did kind of affect mine, but you'll see that. But we both did really well, which is great, and you guys will have probably already seen Fiona's video, but if you haven't, make sure to go watch it because she also is doing a full breakdown of her sales and stuff, so it'll give you kind of the full picture of what we sold together if you watch both. And I couldn't decide whether to tell you guys everything I sold in order, like, oh, I sold one bee, then I sold one triceratops. That's how I usually do it. That's how I think Fiona's gonna do it, but I decided to try a different way. So I went on my spreadsheet and I added in all the things that I sold, like the amount of things I sold for each item, and then I got like the total for each item. I thought it'd be cool to see like how many of the thing I made versus how many sold, and then also what products made me the most money. I have seen Crochet Customs do this method and I kind of like to see it, so let's get right into it. Also, I just want to tell you guys, if you happen to add the math up and it's not exact, there is a few little deals and price changes, so that's likely why, but also it could be because I scribbled all these notes and I'm trying my best to remember from the market. So I'm going off of the notebook total when I talk about total amount of sales, but I'm going off my computer what I just wrote down for this part, so hopefully that makes sense. Anyways, let's get right into it. I'm just gonna go down the list in the order that I wrote them. Okay, I just moved you guys so that I can put a little picture of the item, even though I'm gonna regret that when I'm editing, but it's okay. The first thing that we have is stress balls. So these are usually a very best seller for me and Fiona. Over the years, I think they've become slightly less of a bestseller for us because we always do markets in the same area and people usually already have a stress ball or a mini octopi, which I'm going to be talking about in a minute. So that has kind of affected our sales on these guys throughout the years, but they still do really well and we still bring a lot of them. And another thing I want to say before I tell you how many of these I sold is that Fiona also makes these and we put them in the same display. So I sold 2 stress balls and I had 16. So that's not very good. But what happened with these, and this happened with a few things, is that people just kept picking Fiona's. And we tried to make different colors, so I don't know if her colors were just more popular or if it was just like chance. But yeah, she, I think, sold a lot more of these than I did. You'll see that in her breakdown. But yeah, these were not a bestseller for me this time, but I still love bringing them and it's a great lower priced item. These are sold for $5 each. We did raise the price from last year. They used to be $4 each. So they are a lower priced item, but I always like to bring lots of lower priced item options because a lot of the times people, like kids, are shopping with their parents and their parents don't want to buy them like something really expensive. So that is that. But next, like I was talking about before, is the mini octos. So these actually did a lot better for me. Still not crazy great, but considering we also both sell these, me and Fiona, I did pretty well with these. So I also sold them for $5 each and I had 16 of these as well. It was also just a coincidence that I had the same number of stress balls and mini octopi, by the way. I did not do that on purpose. But I sold 6 of these. So that is pretty good in my opinion. And then Fiona sold probably the exact same amount. I don't really know. You guys have to go watch her breakdown. But that is like a lot of mini octopi sold in total, so that is definitely a really great seller, and I highly recommend you guys check out the stress ball and mini octopi patterns. They are both free tutorials here on our channel that Fiona made, and she has updated and not updated versions of these tutorials. The non-updated ones are just really quick, just if you want the pattern, and the updated ones are more beginner friendly. Also, the links to everything that I made in my market, if it had a pattern, will be linked in the description. Okay, next we have freezy holders. I love bringing freezy holders to my markets. I didn't prep very many new ones this season because I already had a good amount, and I sold 3 of these, but this was a part of the 3 for $10 deal. So I do sell them for $4 each, but they were 3 for $10, so my calculation on here says that they were worth $12, but they were actually worth $10. But I did have 13 of these to start with. So the reason I make so many is because I like the display to be full, but usually they don't sell out, at least at one market. Like when I was doing weekly markets, I'd have to restock these every week, but right now, just for one market, I sold 3 and I'm happy with that. I know that a lot of people these days only sell like plushies, but I don't like only selling plushies. 1, because I feel like a lot of people do it, and 2, because I have been running this business for almost 10 years and I used to not do any plushies. Like I only started doing plushies probably in 2021 or 2022. So it wasn't always the thing I did. So I've always just kept doing what I was doing before, and it still goes pretty well for me. So I love to give a wide variety of options. And I know a lot of people say niche down, but it's crochet. It's all crochet, and I like to have lots of options. Next, we have something that really surprised me, guys, and I'm kind of mad about it actually because I did not prep any of these this year. They were all made last year, and I brought them all to my market last year, and none of them sold last year. But I guess that's just how it is sometimes. One thing that actually did really surprise me about this market in particular is that a lot of stuff that I prepped last year sold compared to what I actually prepped this year, which is weird because I've already brought that stuff to markets and it didn't sell, but okay. We love getting rid of old inventory, I suppose. Anyway, these are my small bees. These are made with velvet yarn. I don't have a pattern for these, but just search bee pattern, honestly. And I didn't make any of these because they didn't sell last year, but I ended up selling 3 of them and I had 4. I sold these for $12. I sold, I believe, 1 yellow, 2 purple, and then a bi-flag bee. So that was great. And then I also sold a large bee made with burnout blanket yarn that I made last year. I had one of these big bees and I sold it for $25. So the bees were very popular at this market. I don't know if it was the placement of them because they were kind of like, they were on the side table but like really high up and like at eye level. So I don't know if that had something to do with it, but it was really weird to me that I brought them to the same market last year and none of them sold. So that's just how it is sometimes. But I'm happy that they sold, and I probably will make more now because it's always nice to have bees, in my opinion. Next is a new product that I made this year, and it didn't go the best for a number of reasons, but it was my mushroom pops. I had a whole basket full of fidgets and I really enjoyed making them, and I kind of knew they probably wouldn't be like a bestseller, but I still wanted to have them as like a non-plushy option. Plus the mushroom pops are still kind of plushies, so that's great. But I ended up selling one of these and I had 9, so not the best, not the worst. But these were supposed to be for $8, but on my sign, I wrote fidgets $8. No, I wrote fidgets $5 and mushroom pops $8. But the person who was buying that did not see that it said mushroom pops $8, so they just thought that it was all $5, which is my bad, and I probably should make them all $5, and I will from now on. So I knew that they were only paying me $5 when it was technically $8, but I was completely fine with it. Like, usually I would tell somebody like, oh, that's not how much you owe me, but it literally said it on the sign, and they also weren't selling, and it was like the end of the market, so I did not care. So I sold it for $5, and I think it was a blue one, but I'm not completely sure. But yeah, from now on I'll be selling those for $5, so totally worked out anyway. Next we have one of the very best sellers, if not the best seller, and they always are. They're just my favorite product ever. But these are triceratops. And yes, people still called them pigs and rhinos, whatever else, but I don't care because they are so cute and people think they're cute no matter what, and they sell very well. So we had 10 of these total on our table because this is a product that Fiona also makes, but I had made 6 of them out of the 10 and I sold 4. So I sold these for $15 this year. Previously I'd sold them for $14. But we did 15 this year and they still sold amazingly. I love bringing this product to markets and I highly, highly recommend trying out this pattern. It's not my pattern, but I love it. I love making it. I love selling it. I love it. So highly, highly recommend these because they are amazing. And then another amazing product that didn't sell as well as I had hoped or expected, but they still sold well and I still love them, is my axolotls. This is also not my pattern, but I love making them and selling them, and I had 6 of these and I sold 2, so not as good as last year. I think I almost sold out of these last year, but still they went very well. And if you are gonna make axolotls, I highly recommend making pink ones because those are just the best selling ones. They just are. And I meant to make a second pink one this year, but I did not, so it's old, and then none of the other ones really sold, but that's okay. Oh, also I sell those for $17. Last year I sold them for $16, but this year $17. Also, just before we go any further, I wanted to tell you guys my products are priced in Canadian dollars because we live in Canada, and you may think they're too high, you may think they're too low. I don't care. Sorry, not sorry, but people always have something to say about somebody else's products, prices, and you can have your opinions, but I don't need to hear them because this is what I feel comfortable selling my products for. And we also had people at our market, like I know a lot of people do, tell us that, oh, your stuff is priced way too low. That's usually what it is for us. But, you know, only we know how much we should be charging for our products, really, and what we're comfortable with, you know? So I think it's an individual thing, and I think you should. I'm just going to stop ranting. I think I'm just going to stop ranting. But our prices are our prices. We did change some of them by like $1 and we were happy with it. So that's what it is, but they are in Canadian dollars because I know some people might get confused if they thought it was American or something. Anyways, my next product that I sold was jellyfish. This is my pattern here on the channel, and I think I'm going to do an updated tutorial for these soon because I now make them no-sew and the pattern is not no-sew. That's currently on the channel, but just so you guys know, if you want to make them no-sew, you just add the legs in to the last row of decrease and you make the legs first instead of last. So that's just how you do it. But I'll probably make an updated tutorial for these guys because I would love to give you guys like a no-sew tutorial for them. But I had 4 and I sold one for $14. I did raise the price of these by $2 and one of them sold, so that was great. So I'm not sharing with you guys the things that didn't sell at all. I might share that at the very end, but I need to bring up this because I've been telling you guys that these are my best sellers at this specific market for 2 years now, 2 or 3 years, and this year I didn't sell any. So those are leggy frogs. I make these with acrylic yarn. I sold them for $10. Usually I sell them for $8, but this year 10. And I had 8 of them and none of them sold. However, Fiona sold a lot of these. This is one of our products that we both sell. We try not to do that with a lot of products because it's kind of like chance if somebody sells one and somebody sells none, like what happened. So we just try and make different products. But these are something that we both make, and Fiona sold a lot of them, I sold none of them. So that's just how it is, but I don't really mind. They still were a great seller for her, and if I was at a market by myself, I do think they would sell really well, but this time they just didn't for me, and that's okay. Next up, I had a couple of acrylic loaf cats from last year, and one of them sold. It was the bigger one for $15, and I had other loaf cats, but I'll share that at the end because they're at the bottom of my list. But I was happy to have that one sell, and we actually had a whole little display of loaf cats this year because Fiona made a couple as well, so we had a little rung of our display. It was actually our shoe rack and it worked really well, but anyways, full of loaf cats, and a lot of them sold, so that was great. And then the next product that I sold was my possums. This was a new pattern that I tried out this year. I only made 2 of them, and I really liked to make them and sell them. I sold them for $14. I had 2 and I sold both, so that was amazing. I was really glad to sell them, but I did wish I made more, but you know, there's always next time, so I'll keep that in mind. That is a product I really want to make again. Next up, we have my turtles. I had 9 turtles. I went a little overkill with them, especially because I have never sold this type of turtle before that I made, and I sold them for $18, and I only sold 3 out of the 9. I mean, that's a third of them. That's not too bad, but I would have liked to sell a few more of these just because I made so many, and I thought so many of them were so cute. I was actually really surprised when I went through my notebook just a few minutes ago and only sold 3 because I feel like I sold a lot, but that's also probably because Fiona also had turtles, so a lot of our sales were turtles, they just weren't all mine. So I also assume if I did another market, they would probably sell better for me if I didn't go with Fiona, but that is totally fine. Next up, we have my mini bouquets. I had 5 mini bouquets. I made enough flowers for 7 mini bouquets, but I ran out of stems. I literally needed 1 more stem, so I just thought no, because our table was full enough. So I only sold 1 mini bouquet for $25. Last year I sold them for $20. They did sell a lot better last year, but we also had less products last year, so I don't know if that made a difference. But those are one of the reasons I want to do another market really bad, because I want to sell more of those. I absolutely love my mini bouquets and my flowers in general. I didn't sell any single flowers, and I also didn't sell my sunflower bouquet. That's totally okay, but I was a little disappointed because they did sell really, really well last year, but it's still a higher priced item for me and Fiona. We don't really sell things past like $35. I don't even know if we had anything for $35, so it was a higher price item for me, and I'm glad that I sold it. And then next we have a really old frog that I made last year. I didn't even really like it, so I only made 1 last year and it didn't sell, but I did sell this year, so that's great, and it was $15. And then another thing that I made last year was pickles. I made 2 pickles last year. I gave 1 to my mom for a Christmas ornament, and then I brought the other one to my market this year just to see if it would sell, and it did sell for $12, so that's really great. Kind of the opposite of what happened last year, because last year I tried out pickles and chicken nuggets, and almost all the chicken nuggets sold and none of the pickles sold. And this year the pickles sold and no chicken nuggets sold. No chicken nuggets. I couldn't believe it. I don't know if it's where I placed them this year versus last year, or because I made them with burlap blanket instead of velvet, but they didn't sell. People still loved them, so that was nice, but they didn't sell. It was really weird. That just shows you though, different years at the same market can have very different results. Next, I had some puff flower claw clips, and I sold 1 of them for $15. And then I also had these small flower clips that just had 1 flower on them, and I didn't sell any of them, but people did really like them, so I was happy to have those. Next, we had another product that I made last year for markets, and that was a panda. This is my pattern. It's actually a no-sew panda pattern. They're so cute. I had a couple of them last year and a few of them sold last year, but I still had one, so I decided to bring it this year and it did sell. So I do recommend trying out that pattern. A lot of people like pandas, so it can be a great option for someone who likes them. And that one was sold for $13. A lot of these products I would have raised the price if I hadn't made them last year, but we were literally gonna have like a sale bin at one point where we put all of our old products in, so I didn't change the price of any of them because I wanted them to sell, and they did, so that was pretty effective. But in the future, if I made more bees and more like pandas and stuff like that, I would probably raise the price of them because I know that they do sell. Next up, we have a few keychains. I debated on whether to tell you guys like, oh, I had this many keychains and this many sold, but I have them as different like products for like the different keychains. So I'm just gonna tell you this way. First is the clover keychains. I have a tutorial for these here on the channel if you want to follow that. And I had 5 of them and I sold one of them for $4, so that's great. I also have never sold keychains before and they did sell really well, so I will be making more, and I highly recommend making keychains for a market if you haven't tried it already. Then I had puff flower keychains. I had 6 and I sold 1 to my mom after the market because she wanted one. So that was great as well. This is also my tutorial. You can follow it if you want to. I keep pointing up there, but you're only allowed 5 iCards and I probably used all of them already, so you can look in the description for the tutorials. Next, I had Monstera Leaf coaster sets, and I had 2 of them, and one of them sold, which I was really happy about because I absolutely loved this product, and it sold for $20, so that was really great. I would be making more of these if I went to a market in the future because I think it's a great option for people like me because I love that kind of thing. Another product that I tried selling this year for the first time was bookmarks, and we had a really cute display for these. It was like on a book. I loved the display and the placement of these, and a lot of people really loved them as well. I thought I sold more bookmarks, but apparently I didn't. So I had 10 and I sold 2, and I know one of them was a rose bookmark, but what was the other one? It doesn't say. I don't know what the other one was. I think it was lavender. I will definitely be selling these in the future. 1, because I still have a lot, and 2, because I really loved having an option and a lot of people really loved them. So that was great, and I sold my bookmarks for $5 each. Next up, we have the cat ear beanies. A lot of people really liked these, but they were confused on what they were, which is funny to me because in the crochet world, I feel like they're very popular and everyone knows what they are, but in the real world, turns out a lot of people don't know what they are. But we had a lot of these. I had 6, and then Fiona had a bunch as well, and I sold 1 for $16, and then Fiona also sold a few, 1 or 2. They were really great. I will probably bring them to future markets as well. A lot of them are pride flag themed because it was a pride market, but I'm sure people would still like them if I brought them to regular markets. So that was a great new thing to try out, and I also have a good way I like to display hats at markets, so it was nice to just know exactly where I was going to put them on the table, and I'm really happy I had them. Next up, we have sunflower keychains, and I had 4 of these and I sold 2. This was probably my favorite keychain that I made, so I was happy that 2 of them sold, and they sold for $6 each. Next up, we have watermelon keychains. I had 2 of these, and apparently 2 of them sold. I recall 1 selling, but according to my notes, 2 of them sold for $5 each. So 2 out of 2, pretty good. I would definitely make more of these. And also, this was a pattern I came up with by myself. I just freehanded them. So if you want the pattern for the watermelon keychains, please let me know because clearly they are a very good seller and very cute. Next up, we have strawberry keychains. I had 2 and I sold 1. I can't remember if it was the pink one or the red one, but these were also so cute. This one isn't my pattern, but they are so cute, and I'll definitely make more of them. And I sold these for $5 each. Then we have my chicks. I had a white one and a yellow one, and I think the white one sold for $16. And then I also had 2 mallards. I have been wanting to make mallards for so long, and I finally did, and they're so cute. I loved them. And I had 2, and I sold both. So I would definitely make more of those in the future. And I really, really liked this chick duck pattern, which is great because I've been trying to find one that I really like for a long time. I found it, so if you guys want to follow it, It'll be linked in the description, and I sold these for $16 also. And then the last thing that I sold was my loaf cat using blanket yarn. I mean, I don't even know if it was blanket yarn, like chenille. It was the blue confetti yarn that I bought. And I made one loaf cat because I didn't really have colors for any of the other ones, but I made one and I sold it for $16. So I would recommend following this pattern as well, because Fiona also sold a lot of hers that she made using the same pattern. So that was really, really great. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys best and worst sellers now. So I'm going to tell you guys best sellers based off of amount, and then also the ones that made me the most money. So we have the mini octos. The total amount of profit for these was $30, but I sold 6 of them. I would also say the keychains were definitely a best seller, because if you add them all up, I sold a lot of them, so that was great as well. And then I would say another bestseller is definitely Triceratops, because I sold almost all of them. And then small bees were also an amazing seller at this market. I mean, turtles were also good. They were good, and I would recommend bringing turtles as long as you don't mind making them, which my pattern that I used was amazing, but I kind of referenced a different pattern when I was making my pattern, so I don't really want to like make a tutorial. I do want to make a tutorial, but I didn't reference a pattern. I looked at a picture, but I always do that when I make my patterns, but like I'm always confused that if I can make a tutorial for it or not, because it's like I came up with it, but like I didn't come up with like it. I don't know. Anyways, I do want to make a tutorial for you guys, but I don't know if I will yet. And then a lot of the keychains sold really well. I mentioned they were kind of a bestseller, but specifically the watermelon ones sold out. And then also the chicks and mallards were an amazing seller. In terms of which ones made me the most profit, the Triceratops made me $60 total. The small bees made me $36 total. The turtles made me $54 total. So that is like the second best, even though I didn't sell very many of them. The axolotls made me $34 total. The mallards made me $32 total, and the mini octos made me $30 total. Those were definitely the best in terms of profit. And now let's get into the breakdown of how much money we made. So again, I'm going to be referencing my notebook because it has a more accurate total of what I actually paid myself out. So regardless of if this is 100% accurate or not, this is what I paid myself out. So what's done is done. We have 2 forms of payment with our booth. Another controversial thing I've mentioned a few times in this video and a lot of times on this channel, we use cash and e-transfer. If you don't know what e-transfer is, it's like sending someone money through your banking app. Apparently Americans don't have e-transfer. I didn't know this because we've had Americans come to our booth before and they were really confused. But other than that, we don't have issues with it. So that's what we do. And in cash sales, I made $342, and that might be a little bit inaccurate because I forget if I added my mom's $5 into that or not, but I think I added it into the total, so keep that in mind. And then in e-transfer, I made $195. So cash is always our most popular form of payment. We come from a small town where up until recent years, cash was the only form of payment that was accepted at our markets, just in general. So that's what people bring to our markets. But a lot of people also did e-transfer this year, especially compared to years previously. I don't know if that's English, but it was definitely more popular than it was in the past, so that was great, I guess. And then we also got a few tips. I got a $5 tip for one of my keychains, and then our grandma and aunt also gave us a combined tip of $14.50 each. I don't really know what that was in total, but it was $14.50 each when we split it up. And then my grandpa also gave me a $1 tip, I think. So a few tips. But with all of that added together, my total for the day was $556.50. I am really happy with this total. I do think that this total is missing $5 from it, so I don't know what that would be. Technically $561.50. Not really math girly, but $556.50 is pretty good in my opinion. especially considering our booth fee was $15 each, split in half. So not very much. Again, we live in a small town, so I never really expect amazing $1,000 worth of sales at this market because you just don't get that kind of traffic, or you can't really sell your products for crazy amounts. Like, we do not sell our stuff for very much money, guys. I know that if we did, we'd make a lot more money, but it's not worth it to us. But me and Fiona both had a really good day, and I'm gonna give you the total of if we added our stuff together, because I forget that we're the same business, and like, I obviously care more about like the money I'm actually making because I'm not making any of our money. But like, if you think of our business as a whole, I do want to give you guys an idea of how much you can realistically make if you have as much stock as we do and everything. So let me just add that up and then I'll share that with you. So based off of what I have in my notebook, the combined total of our sales for our market was $978.50. But if you add on that extra $5, I think it was, in tip, it was $983.50. And just in case you want me to subtract the $30 booth fee, that would be a total of $953.50 in profit. That's really great. So me and Fiona had about, I would say, almost $3,000 worth of inventory going into this. Probably just under 3,000 because she had almost 1,000 and then I had just over 2,000. So roughly $3,000 worth of inventory, and we made almost $1,000. So we sold almost a third of our inventory, which is, I would say, really great. And I'm super happy with that. But I will say, after doing that market and having such a great day, but also still having a lot of inventory left, I want to do another market. But I don't know guys, because I know that if I sign up for another market, I'm going to want to make more stuff. And the whole purpose of me doing another market would be to get rid of my inventory. So I don't know. But I might make a few things. I might just go full market. I don't know, but we'll see. So I will let you guys know, of course. But thank you guys so much for watching this market day vlog. I really hope you enjoyed it. I know this breakdown was kind of long, but I wanted to give you guys all the details. And I'll also probably make a updated market bestsellers video because I made one of those last year. I made two of them last year, actually, based off of my 2023 and 2024 markets. And then I made one this year as well. That was kind of a combination of the two, I guess. But now that I have my 2025 info for you guys, I would love to give you the inside scoop on what you should be bringing to your markets. So stay tuned for that. But if you guys want to watch any of our other market vlogs, I will link the playlist for you guys. Fiona also vlogged this day. If you haven't already seen it, make sure to go watch that as well because it's her whole sales and her whole side of the day, so very interesting stuff. Thank you guys so much for coming along with us. I know that a lot of you have enjoyed watching our market prepping and market kind of content. It's personally my favorite content to film. I just don't do it very much because I don't do a bunch of markets every year anymore, but I still love to do it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it and subscribe to see more videos like this one. And I can't wait to keep making videos for you guys. So stay tuned and I will see you next time. Bye!